Hello, world. I am Kim Floyd, soon to be Kim Cooper. I am a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner in North Carolina, and I am here starting this YouTube channel on January 1st, 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. We're glad the old year is gone with high hopes for a new year. And I want to do some videos talking about some common mental health issues. So, where I wanted to start was with this book called The Upward Spiral. It's by Alex Korb. And he does a wonderful job in this book of really, describing, the scientific basis for depression, but also discussing the small steps that we can take to actually reverse the downward spiral of depression, to start turning that around and creating an upward spiral. They're just a lot of small, simple things, but one at a time, one step at a time, we can reverse the course of depression. So, along with that book, there is also a workbook, which I don't have a copy of here, but there is a card deck. It has 52 cards, and each card discusses one specific thing that you can do to begin that process of reversing that spiral and creating an upward spiral for yourself. So I'm starting today because there's 52 cards, there's 52 weeks in the year, and it is Monday, January 1st again. And so what better day? So if I do one of these each Monday, we should be able to get through the whole deck within the year. So I'm going to pick the cards at random. We're not going in any specific order. The first card that I picked is an action card. It is card number 39. It is titled Become Your Best Self. And what this card wants you to do is to take a minute to think about what your life is going to look like 6 months from now. So if you're here with me live today, 6 months from now, that's going to be July 1st. What do you see your life looking like 6 months from now? But now imagine that everything in your life goes exactly as you hoped it would go. Don't think about what your life would look like if everything gone wrong. It's easy. We always think about, well, this can go wrong, that can go wrong. But what if everything that you hope would go right goes right? It could be changes in your housing situation, your family, your relationships, your health, your job, your finances, your transportation, anything. Just think about what you would hope for. And if everything you hope for goes right, if everything goes exactly as you hope for, what does your world look like 6 months from now? Think about that for a minute. How does that feel? Now, the next step, what the card wants us to do next, is to get your journal out or get a piece of paper and a pen and set a timer for 10 minutes and spend 10 minutes writing down what your world looks like 6 months from now if everything goes as you hoped for. So why don't you go ahead and hit pause, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then come back. Okay, pause now. Now, are you back? Okay. So now that you've written it and you've really thought about what the world feels like when everything works the way that you hoped it would. Now take that journal or that piece of paper, whatever it is that you wrote that on, and put it somewhere where you can get where you won't lose it, where you can get back to it. Because anytime that you feel stuck or you feel like you're in a low place or you're in a rut or that things aren't going right, I want you to pull that back out. I want you to read it. And I want you to again spend some time just visualizing and really feeling what it feels like when everything goes right. Now, when we do this, what happens when we spend all of our time thinking about things going wrong, when we catastrophize and we think, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, we become full of anxiety. We feel helpless, we feel hopeless, we feel like everything's just going to go wrong. And that feeds our depression and it feeds that downward spiral. So give your mind a break from all that. It's like giving your mind just a vacation for a minute. It's going to affect all the chemicals in your brain. Just spend some time just visualizing a world where everything works out the way you hope for. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're retraining your thought process. You're opening up your mind to the possibility that things can go right. And when we do that, it eventually helps to pull us out of that rut of negative thinking. It helps us to, yeah, sometimes things don't work out, but sometimes things do work out. So, what we're doing here is we're training ourselves to realize, to accept that, yeah, sometimes things do work out. And we should allow ourselves to visualize that, to enjoy thoughts of what our worlds will look like when things work out. Because sometimes things do work out. That is it for this video. It was simple, it was short. We will do a new card next week. Thank you for joining me. Again, I will put the links to the Upward Spiral um, book, cards, and workbook. Also, when you go to the book link, you can purchase the book in paperback, but they also have it on audiobooks. I've got it on audiobooks and I listen to it in my car when I'm driving back and forth to work. So yeah, just excellent book. I think anybody who's ever suffered from depression, or if you know anybody that suffered from depression, I think that this is definitely a must read. So I'm gonna put those links. Make sure that you hit subscribe and like. And again, thank you for joining me. Oh, Happy New Year.